Welcome to AAA Liquor License Consulting. Today we're going to discuss how to obtain a liquor license, in this case, California, specifically Los Angeles County. First and foremost, you need to make sure you have a location, a premise address, a lease signed on this particular premise address. Once the lease is signed, you then need to check as to whether or not the city that you're located in has permitted this particular location to have an alcohol license for on-site consumption. If in the case that the city has approved you or it is already permitted for an alcohol license, our next step is to then obtain the license on the open market within Los Angeles County. The way that alcohol licenses work in the state of California is you have to buy a full liquor license within the same county that your premise is located in. So for example, if your location is in Hollywood, we can take a license from Santa Monica and move it into Hollywood. Another example would be if you have a location in downtown Los Angeles, we can move a license from, let's say, Pacific Palisades or Malibu into that downtown LA location. As long as it all falls within LA County, the license is transferable. What we cannot do is if you own a location in West Hollywood and you want to open up in Anaheim, you cannot move the license from West Hollywood to Anaheim, as you are then crossing county lines. So in other words, the easiest way to remember this is if you own a liquor license in LA County, it must stay in LA County. Once we've secured a liquor license on the open market, we'll then go ahead and open an escrow. You'll deposit funds in the escrow as a buyer. The seller is going to execute their side of the documents and counterpart. I'm going to go ahead and prepare your ABC application. You're going to sign and notarize your ABC application. I will then go ahead and in-person file your application over at the Alcohol Beverage Control. Once the ABC, also known as the Alcohol Beverage Control, has inputted your application, you're going to receive a big, beautiful white posting notice that you're going to put on the front of your establishment for 30 days. In addition to that posting, we're going to send mail out, if any, to residents within 500 feet of your location. That is known as your protest/posting period. Once those 30 days are up and ABC does not receive any protests from the public, your license is then going to be ready for a final inspection. ABC is going to coordinate a date to come to your premise and inspect the location to ensure that what we provided on the ABC application diagram matches what's actually physically on site. The inspection takes no more than 5 to 10 minutes, and once you've passed that final inspection, ABC is then going to draft up your conditions. These conditions are how your alcohol is going to operate off of. For example, if the ABC conditions your Type 47 liquor license to be closed by 11 p.m., that means you have to stop serving alcohol by said time. Once you've agreed to these ABC conditions, we will go ahead and sign those, provide them back to our Alcohol Beverage Control licensing representative. The licensing representative is going to submit his or her file to the supervisor. The supervisor will then sign off on approval, send the file to headquarters, and within about 72 hours of it arriving at headquarters, your license is going to issue and you can start selling to all of us out in the public. Licenses in the state of California, depending on what county you're in, are limited. Here are some clients that we've helped obtain liquor license for in Los Angeles County. One of my near and dear clients, John and Vinny's. One of my sweetest clients that I have, Naya Studio, a big chain market in Tokyo Central. I was recently obtained by a little market called J Market. It's right on 3rd Street in Midtown by Beverly Center. Immigrant Korean family owned a cute little liquor store. They've owned it for 30 plus years with beer and wine only. I was able to help obtain a conditional use permit for them, go through the neighborhood council process and garner their approval as well, and then obtain a full liquor Type 21 off-sale general liquor license for them to sell full line of alcohol at their liquor store. Depending on what city you're in and what your request is for alcohol usage will dictate whether a conditional use permit, also known as a CUP, is required by that particular city. As an example, you might be in downtown LA with a location that's never had an alcohol license there. We would reach out to LA City Planning Department to verify whether a conditional use permit is needed. If a CUP is required and confirmed by city planning that it's needed, then we will go ahead and file for a conditional use permit and request for alcohol consumption on site for your business. The CUP process is completely separate of the Alcohol Beverage Control. But you need a CUP approved and effectuated before the Alcohol Beverage Control will issue your liquor license. Depending on the county, depending on the city you're in, the CUP process can be vastly different. You know when you're ready to obtain a liquor license or when you start to look for a liquor license when you have a couple locations in mind that you're interested in signing a lease on. Then you can start your research as to what alcohol license you're in need of and what costs may be associated to that. Once you've executed your lease, you are now ready to sign on the dotted line to purchase your liquor license. Common bottlenecks that you may run into when obtaining your Alcohol Beverage Control license, maybe filling your application out incorrectly, not having the appropriate diagrams, not filling out your affidavits accordingly or accurately, and not providing the said information required on the ABC application. Those 4 to 5 things are the primary reason as to why your application will get bottlenecked. When you hire AAA Liquor License Consulting, we'll help give you ease to ensure that nothing gets bottlenecked with your ABC filing. Prior to us submitting your ABC application, we comb through your application the same way that an ABC ABC representative would do to ensure that we know it'll be acceptable to the Alcohol Beverage Control. We will help expedite that process by filing a clean and complete ABC application for you.